It was quickly labeled a childish, petulant, passive-aggressive act of pure retribution, courtesy Donald Trump.
It's petty, it's small, it's vindictive, it is unbecoming a president of the United States, but it is, unfortunately, a daily occurrence.
As government buses today sat idling on Capitol Hill, waiting for a congressional delegation to begin a trip to go visit U.S. troops in Afghanistan, key among those traveling, senior Democrat and Trump foil Nancy Pelosi, the U.S. president today fired off this letter. "I'm sorry to inform you that your trip has been postponed," he wrote, calling it a public relations event that is totally inappropriate. In short, Trump denied Pelosi use of military aircraft. Wrote Trump, Pelosi could always go by flying commercial.
We need strong borders.
Yes, it all comes back to Trump's demand for that border wall, something he repeated again today. A singular demand that's forced the partial government shutdown that's left hundreds of thousands of U.S. government workers without pay for nearly a month. Trump won't end it unless Democrats agree to fund an extension of the existing border wall, something they see as an ineffective, wasteful way to secure the border. With the two sides dug in on that, Pelosi took a dramatic step yesterday, all but uninviting Trump to this month's big State of the Union address. This is last year's address. Trump's move today is widely seen as payback for Pelosi trying to take this kind of spotlight away from him. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham today called both Pelosi and Trump sophomoric, as frustration in an ever more dysfunctional U.S. government grew broadly.
Forget games. Forget petty games. Let's sit down and open the government up. There are real people suffering.
In his letter to Pelosi, Trump underlines that given the shutdown, she should be staying in Washington anyway, trying to resolve it. Democrats quickly pointed out the White House was sending a sizable delegation to the upcoming World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. So who's to talk about staying in D.C.? When that came out, the White House then promptly issued a notice saying it was abruptly canceling U.S. participation in Davos. And so it goes.
And while this back and forth was going on, Paul, as always, the Russia file never far from the surface. What's going on there?
Yeah, this is a weird one. How many times have you heard, Donald Trump and or his lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, say there's been no collusion with Russia, right? Well, last night on CNN, Giuliani seemed to hedge on that, seeming to suggest Trump did not, but that maybe the Trump campaign did collude. All the while, he challenged the host over whether Trump himself had ever even denied that his campaign had colluded. You got all that? Here's a bit of how it all went down.
The president did not.
He said nobody had any contact. Tons of people had contact. Nobody colluded. The guy running his campaign.
He didn't say
was
nobody.
Working on an issue at the same time as the convention.
He said he didn't. He didn't say nobody. How would you know that nobody in your campaign?
He actually did say that, Rudy. He said
I never
nobody,
said
and then
that.
he said, as far as I know.
He said that. He said it in a. Well, as far as he knows, that's true.
Who knows why Giuliani said all that last night? Does he know something that might soon be made public? Regardless, today he walked it all back. In a statement, Giuliani said, quote, "I have no knowledge that anyone on the campaign illegally colluded with Russia." Ian, we'll see what happens next.
Thank you, Paul.